The C.O.O.K.I.E is a new troop coming to the Cookie Rumble event. This new troop has the power to one-tap any building. However, it does have relatively low HP, but does also cost only 10 housing space. So this is one of the easiest and best ways to 3-star any base during the Cookie Rumble event. So with this attack, it all starts with funneling. I would recommend using Super Barbarians as they are extremely flexible in terms of any sort of strategy, since they can funnel pretty dang well on any base without needing any special cases due to them having a nice rage. Of course, when the wall is opened, you want to make sure that you are sending in your Barbarian King, Archer Queen, and Grand Warden, followed by using the cookies into the base. You should use an early Grand Warden ability in this case, so you can protect all of them. Using the Healing Tome is perfect for the cookies due to their low HP. So it synergizes extremely well with them, so I would upgrade that ability if I were you. And of course, as you're able to move through, it will allow you to get to the back end. Using a rage spell there can be really good as your Warden ability expires. As for the other spell that you're taking, the Bag of Frostmites, you're basically going to be able to get a lot of value since they are 3 things in one: a freeze, slow, and a distraction all in one. So it makes it extremely good against scattershots, multi-target infernos, expos, the town hall, the Eagle artillery, or even the enemy CC while using a poison. Since you only are bringing 10 of them, this means that you should try to use them surgically as you move around. Your Royal Champion can basically go in anywhere around the base as long as you are getting some good value off of her and keeping her alive by using the Bag of Frostmites, while also having everything move in and taking a lot of the damage away from her. This should allow you to get a 3-star on any base, with the exception to ring bases, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Now, teaser bases are a common style design, so let's break this down on what you need to do versus these kinds of designs. Basically, it's the same thing as the anti-3s. You're going to funnel the outside with the Super Barbarians. You want to make sure that you are just getting everything to go in. You could use a baby dragon in order to provide a little bit of support and funneling while you kind of move in, but using either some cookies and the Super Barbarians often are a lot better at funneling and getting your heroes into the base. This is why I would recommend using all of your heroes, minus the Royal Champion of course, and also having the Apprentice Warden to move in with your heroes and of course your cookies as you enter in. You want to make sure that what you're able to do is start using your Bag of Frostmites around the base surgically at the start in order to distract and slow buildings. You want to make sure that you're also using an early Grand Warden ability to protect as many of your cookies as possible, thanks to the healing aura, and of course the Grand Warden and heroes. Having that Royal Champion coming on the backside just to make sure that you are moving adjacent with her and keeping her alive alongside her ability. And just using your rage spell as you work yourself in to push the cookies through and start doing a lot of damage to walls. Of course, you want to use your Bag of Frostmites towards the town hall and other key defenses, since you can easily take full advantage of them. Other than this, you can really use your final one over an enemy CC, like in this case where you're using a poison and then the frost, and also having all of the little Frostmites to slow down the enemy CC, but also being able to freeze it and distract it. So it's always an incredibly good strategy. So this is definitely a very good way on beating these styles of base. Now, if you're hitting the ring bases, it's a little bit of a different story. You're going to be using the Battle Blimp to secure the town hall. So do the exact same thing that you've done throughout the entire video with the same sort of setup. Funneling is extremely important, but unlike anything else, you're going to use your heroes to go all along the ring of the base, clearing out buildings, and of course, having your cookies work themselves around. Using the Bag of Frostmites in order to move yourself around and freezing up very key and important buildings, and to make sure that you are not taking nearly as much damage. You do want to delay your blimp as much as possible so you can get towards the town hall. You can use the Grand Warden ability over it, which is usually a better idea, but you can still use your Grand Warden ability early as you work in. Having the Barbarian King's ability does also really help a ton as well, but making sure to get value out of the blimp, even if it unfortunately hits a tornado trap and stuff, you can still work yourself in and take that down with no problems. Of course, it's going to depend from ring base to ring base, but using those Bag of Frostmites to help deal with different defenses, and as you work yourself around, being able to deal and distract the enemy CC is just going to allow you to completely and easily work your way through. Having the giant arrow from the Queen can also be a really nice plus. It just allows you to work yourself around and get a ton of value in this way. It's a very, very strong option, and it's an easy way of being able to 3-star a lot of bases since you have the flexibility of adding the battle blimp instead of using the log launcher. And of course, going up against an anti-3 is probably the easiest way to use this army. Not only can you easily start by funneling using those super barbarians, like I've mentioned, you just want to make sure that what you're doing is then starting to move yourself in towards the town hall and other key defenses. Try to make sure that you're lining up other defenses, not just something like an Inferno, but you want to make sure that you are being able to line up a lot of buildings, the Eagle Artillery, Scattershot, multi-target Inferno, etc. As you send in your heroes and the cookies, once you know that you have a solid funnel set, then you're going to just use those Bag of Frostmites, an early Grand Warden ability, maybe the King ability as well, alongside using the Rage spell to move yourself in, and possibly even having your Yetis inside start moving in with the rest of your army. Having that Royal Champion to help support and using the Bag of Frostmites to stun and distract the Town Hall is incredibly important. Just using all of these tools to your advantage, you can easily basically take full control of your cookies, as they can do a ton of damage, and being able to control that by using the Bag of Frostmites in order to slow down and stop these defenses from doing too much damage, it synergizes so well in making sure that you're able to easily smash down any defenses, anything that will really come into your way. You might lose some of your heroes towards the end of the attack, but as long as you have a ton of the cookies, you should be easy. It should be an easy way for you to get the 3-star, even using another Bag of Frostmites towards the back end to help clear out different buildings and of course slow them down, this is a very, very good army that I would recommend using during this event.